Hey everybody, this is TJR. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. And I just got wind of this article from Rolling Stone magazine, the 50 worst album covers of all time. I felt like I've just got to respond to this here. Actually, I saw Larry Graves, the Canadian Stud Muffin, doing this on his channel. And as you all know, I'm just a pale imitation of him. So whatever he has to do, I have to do. Hey there, Larry. Love your channel and hope things are working out. Larry, he's been going through a lot of difficulties and with one of his channels getting demonetized. I understand that frustration and give him any support you can. I will support him now by shamelessly copying him. Anyways, but let's talk about this here. I do want to talk about this here. Of course, as some of you may know, especially if you've clicked my thumbnail for crying out loud, there is a popular Beatles cover that is on this list. We're talking about the cover to Revolver, which I think is a wonderful cover, an excellent cover. In fact, if I was going to choose a Beatles cover to make a worst album cover of all time list, it wouldn't be that one. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here. But let's look at this list here. And I want to first just read something here about their criteria for this. They said, we skewed toward major artists with the resources of professional graphic designers who really should have known better. Some of rock's most revered design firms, such as, and I have trouble always saying this, Hipgnosis, are also some of the worst offenders here. Hipgnosis, of course, responsible for some incredibly iconic covers, album covers. No more than one album per artist, no mercy for the album's music actually being good, which I think is important to do. You know, don't base it on the music, based on the actual visual elements of the cover. Yes, these are all real. As you look at these album covers, remember, with each one of these, multiple highly paid people thought this was a good idea. And that's probably very, very true. Now, real quick before I get to the first album cover here, one thing I've always said about critiquing any kind of art, be it fine art, be it music, be it theater, be it, film, is that one, you should have an appreciation for what you're critiquing. For instance, I am not a good person to be critiquing Tejano music because I have no interest in it. I don't have any appreciation for it. You should be critiquing music that you appreciate. You should also discuss why you think something is good. You should give reasons. You shouldn't just say, this is excellent because it rocks. This is awful because it sucks. You should have actual arguments as to why you think something is good and why you think something is bad. Because criticism, any kind of criticism, can be both good and bad. It can be positive and negative. So with that said, I'm going to look at these. I'm going to give my thoughts here. Billy Joel, River of Dreams, 1993. This cover was painted by Billy Joel's wife, Christy Brinkley, showing why she's better known as a model than a visual artist. We're not saying that this cover art led to their divorce a year later and Joel never making another studio album. We're just observing that both of these things happened after she perched a tiny cheetah on his naked shoulder. I'm going to open this in a new tab and get a blow up of it here. I feel like there's some sort of pointed argument going on here with the whole cheetah on the shoulder. I have no idea what that means, if that's supposed to be some kind of pointed reference. But I see nothing wrong with this image. This is a nice image. I think the use of colors works really well. Nothing looks ugly or garish here. I think it's a really nice image. It feels to me like Rolling Stone's whole critique is that it was painted by a supermodel. So therefore it must be bad, which is not a critique of the art. And so, you lose points with me there, Rolling Stone. Number 49, REO Speedwagon, 9 Lives. Let's get a big image of this one here. And yeah, this has not aged really well. Anytime you show your band members being pawed after by girls, it's just speaking to your own insecure ego, in my opinion. Otherwise, I guess, as far as just aesthetically, colors, everything like that, but it's just, yeah, this doesn't come off well at all. Number 48, Chuck Berry. Berry is on top. Not the best gag in the world, and the photo looks like bad 70s, you know, advertising photography. Really bad. Yeah. Number 47, Queen, The Miracle. I'm going to read what they wrote here. These days, a monstrous nightmare-inducing fortuned image like this would be quick work in Photoshop, but in 1989, it required many hours of labor by designer Richard Gray on a dedicated state-of-the-art graphics workstation. So, progress? Again, I think this image is fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. And it was state-of-the-art at the time. This did take a lot of work back then. I don't even know why they brought that up. That's like, critiquing the 1930s original King Kong movie against the newer digital special effects that are used now. When King Kong was made in the 30s, the original film, that was state of the art. And you have to judge it from that perspective. So, yeah, I don't see what's wrong with this cover. Nothing wrong. The Coupe, Party Music, 2001. And so I've actually read the little business here about it, where it talks about the poor taste of this being the Twin Towers. But I did some research on this one here. This was a rejected album cover. It was never used for this reason. So you can't really use this as a critique. I mean, I would critique what actually got released. So I think this is pointless to even talk about this one. Number 45, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Mosquito. This image here, they talk about it here being nightmare-inducing, and I think that's the point. But I don't see anything wrong with this image. Yes, it might look disturbing to some. It might look kind of frightening to some. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything wrong with this here. I think it's supposed to be kind of nightmare-inducing. I think it's supposed to look kind of scary. I don't see anything wrong with this. Number 44, Michael Jackson, History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1. The critique on this one talks about the fact that this was not a tongue-in-cheek thing for Michael Jackson. He took himself this seriously, having him shown in this almost, like these kind of godlike proportions here. Visually, there's nothing wrong with this here. It's more about the intent behind it, his ego. But I don't think this is a bad image. Just as an image itself, without any context, it's not a bad image. Number 43, Village People, Renaissance. 1981, it says here. This, of course, was them trying to rebrand themselves once disco fell out of fashion. It didn't work for them. This is just a visually ugly-looking cover. Just the colors and everything, it comes off very garish-looking. Not a pleasing cover at all. Let's move on. Number 42, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Hard Promises. Tom Petty himself has said that he doesn't like this cover. And it's not a bad image, it's just boring looking. And he knows that. And that's what Rolling Stone says here. It's a boring image. Number 41, Metallica, the self-titled album. One of their biggest albums, one of their most commercially successful albums. There's nothing wrong with this cover. Nothing wrong with it at all. I'm not even going to comment any further. Number 40, Rod Stewart, An Old Raincoat Won't Ever Let You Down. I'm going to read from the actual text here. The choice of photograph for the front cover in which an elderly man in a mac appears to be menacing a small child in a park probably wouldn't have gone very far through the marketing meetings today. This is from Rod Stewart's biography, this quote. What can I say? I thought it was a beguiling image at the time. Actually, it's funny. When I look at this one, I'm going to go and open it up in another tab here so I can get a better look at it here. The child, to me, doesn't look menaced. The child looks like they're kind of having fun with him, kind of having a good time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see terror on that child's face. But the old man's face is kind of weird looking here. It looks like he's some kind of like alien mutant or something. That might make it a little bit frightening. The font here used reminds me of a lot of 70s sitcoms. Number 39, Sufjan Stevens, Javelin. I'm going to open this one up here and take a better look at it. And yeah, not very good. This is just confusing. All these like images, it's not very appealing the way it's put together. That's all I can say. Number 38, Brad Paisley, Time Will Tell. And we're going to open this one up here and take a better look. Not a bad image, really. There is some interesting theming between the black and white and the color, but it could be better done. I would say if I was presented with this, I would say we're not quite there yet, but not bad. And here we are, of course, number 37, the Beatles Revolver. They do have their argument here, but I don't agree with it. Klaus Vormann, cool dude, good friend to the Beatles in Hamburg, great bass line on You're So Vain, but let's be honest, this cover, which he designed, is a mess. The central notion of the Fab Four getting lost in their own hair is solid, but the photo collage of the mini Beatles is mostly sloppy. The portrait of George is so bad that you have to wonder if Harrison owed Vormann money. I disagree. I love the whole trippy look of this cover art. It just looks like like some kind of fever dream. It looks like a scene from an animated video, like just a still frame. I really like this cover. And if there was going to be a Beatles cover that I would put in a worst of list, well, I'll talk about it at the end. Let's look at the rest of these real quick. Number 36, Black Flag. What the? I'm neither here nor there on this one here. I'm just going to move on. It's not great, though. I'll admit it's not great, but I don't think it's terrible. Roger, the many facets of Roger. Roger Troutman. Stone Cold Classic Funk album, it says here in their description. But he should have buttoned up his shirt. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, not buttoning your shirt up is I think, a real no-no in covers, and we'll see more of that in a moment here. Number 34, George Jones, I Want to Sing. Yeah, this is a country music album, but it looks more like a kid's album because of this picture. I don't think this is a bad piece of art. I just think it's the wrong piece of art for what you're selling here, unless this was a children's album, which I don't think it was. Number 33, Two Live Crew, As Nasty As They Wanna Be. This is just a garishly ugly cover. The colors look garish. The image looks garish. And not because it's naked ladies. You know, you can do... let me put it this way. It's not sexy, this cover. I mean... If it was sexy, if it was erotic, then I'd be, yeah, just take that in. Enjoy it. But it's not, in my opinion. I think it's just, the whole thing's just garish. Number 32, Pat Kelly, Lonely Man. Okay. Let's open this one up so we can see it a little bit bigger here. Yeah, not very good. The fonts don't really go well with each other. This looks like a bad 1960s album cover. Yeah, unless he's being ironic here, but I don't know what the intent is here. I'm certainly not. I don't find it appealing. Number 31, Corey Feldman, Angelic 2, The Core. Yeah, I'm going to blow this up, but there's no need. This just looks awful. This looks really bad. This looks very amateurish. What year is this again? Let's take a look here. 2016. Oh, yeah, this should look way better. Way, way, way better. Number 30, Ozzy Osbourne, Down to Earth. You know, I've never seen this cover before, and I would have thought I might have because it's Ozzy. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad image, really. It might be disturbing to some. It might be off-putting to some, but it's not a bad image. Hamp in Paris, Lionel Hampton, 1955. And I'm going to open this up in a new tab here and take a better look. It does look kind of scary, honestly. I kind of like it because it is kind of scary. It is kind of like dark and eerie. And yeah, I am getting the EVGs. The more I look at this, the more frightened I'm getting. And the more I can't turn away from it. It's pretty scary looking. Okay, let's move on before I start having a meltdown here. Number 28, James Brown. James Brown, Reality. And let's take a better look here. I think this is a pretty good image. I like this. The colors go well together. The dreamlike effect, I think, works. I like this. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Number 27, David Crosby, If I Could Only Remember My Name. Sorry, I was paraphrasing. And I think this is a nice image. I don't think it's bad. I think it fits the title really well. Number 26, Little Flip, the Leprechaun. Well, it's a funny image. I like that aspect of it. I don't know if it fits the whole rap gangsta image, but maybe that's not what he's selling. I like this. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. It is hard for me to be objective because I really don't like the songs that got radio airplay off this album. But just an image alone, and let's blow it up here and take a better look at it here. I would have rejected this simply because at a glance, it's hard to even read the title. I understand that, my understanding was that initially the actual album cover was a shot of the band posing with a bunch of girls who are semi-scantily clad, and they're like at a car wash. I think that's kind of a funny cover. If that's not it, correct me, but apparently it was considered too risque, so they didn't go with it, and they went with this. They just photographed a wet garbage bag, and John Bon Jovi just wrote the title with his finger. It didn't stop him from selling a bazillion copies. That's for sure. I actually tried to listen to this album once or twice and just couldn't get past it. I thought it was just way over compressed. I just thought it was just painful to listen to on the ears. 24, Billy Squier, Signs of Life. And let's take a look here. This is supposed to be kind of, I guess, abstract romanticism, but it's not very appealing. And number 23, Anthrax, A Fistful of Metal. I don't even have to blow this one up. This is amateurish looking. It really is. Number 22, Leo Sayer, Endless Flight. I'm going to read the text here. This album by English singer-songwriter Leo Sayer is largely forgotten, but it contained 2 #1 pop singles, the ballad When I Need You and the disco-inflected You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. I remember that song back in the 70s. I didn't like it, but I remember it. It was all over the radio. Presumably, this photo was taken with Sayer on a trampoline in a studio in front of a blue sky backdrop. Given his facial expression, however, the disquieting implication is that he's been ejected from an airplane as punishment for pioneering the suspenders t-shirt combo look, and well, he should be for that. That's actually a very funny commentary, but it's not a critique of the actual cover art, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I think that the writer just wanted to say something funny. And you did accomplish that, writer, but it's not a critique. Oh, boy. Number 21, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Love Beach. I remember this cover back in the 70s when it came out. I remember seeing this in stores. And I even thought, what were they thinking with this? This cover, it looks like a bad substitute for the Bee Gees, is what it looks like. This totally doesn't fit their prog rock image. And you got to remember, this is the same band that had the Geiger Art album covers a few years back. And they go from that to this. Yeah, this is just bad. Yeah, put this under what were they thinking. Number 20, Van Halen, Balance. The color scheme works great, but yeah, I don't like this image either. I just don't like it. I don't find it to be much of anything. I'm not sure what it's trying to accomplish. Maybe you feel differently about it. If you like this, tell me why. I'd be curious. Chumbawamba, Tub Thumper. If Spencer Elden can sue Nirvana unsuccessfully because he's unhappy about his appearance as a baby on the cover of Nevermind, shouldn't the baby on the cover of Tub Thumper have the basis for a lawsuit for having unwillingly seared the eyeballs of the entire record-buying public of the Western Hemisphere? Again, that's a funny commentary, but not a critique. Tell us why you don't like this. I think it's a funny-looking cover. I actually find it kind of funny to look at. Number 18, Scorpions, Love Drive. They actually say they don't think this is the worst Scorpions cover, but they say they can't actually show the one that they actually think is the worst. I'm not going to talk about why, but you can read the article if you want. But you know something? I actually think this cover is kind of interesting. I think it reminds me of like a Rene Magritte surrealist painting, this cover. Number 17, Orleans, Walking and Dreaming. Again, this is why you shouldn't show your chest hair. It's just not appealing for that reason. I'll bet they all find this cover very embarrassing now. They probably pass it around at family gatherings and joke about it. Anyways, okay. Number 16, Bob Dylan, Saved. Nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. I mean, it advertises what it's selling. This was Dylan during his Christian period. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as an image. You know. Number 15, Bee Gees, Cucumber Castle. Yeah, I would definitely be asking, what were you thinking with this one? Apparently, this image was taken from a BBC movie that they starred in, and one that I probably have no desire to see. Actually, I probably have a lot of desire to see this just because of this image here. I look at this and I want to say, now go away, or I will talk to you a second time. Number 14. Yes, going for the one. There's nothing wrong with this image, in my opinion. This is where they stopped using Roger Dean. Probably not the best choice. They probably should have stayed with him and been consistent. But as an image, this is fine. I don't see anything wrong with this here. Number 13, Trick Daddy, www.thug.com, 1998. And yeah, I get it. This looks very outdated. This is what websites used to look like. Okay, I get it. And even if it was contemporary, it's still very garish looking. Number 12, David Allan Coe, Spectrum 7. This does not make me want to see Spectrum 1 through 6, that's for sure, whatever that is. Yeah, this just looks bad. Garish, ugly. Even if I don't know who this is, this just looks bad. 11, Donny Osmond, Disco Train. Nothing wrong with this image, it's fine. It's telling you what you're getting. Number 10. Whoa, Capadonna Black Tarzan with 2 N's at the end. 2 R's in tar. Tarzan. Okay, yeah. This just looks bad. Amateurish. Very garish. Yeah. Or is it garish? I don't know. But yeah, this just looks bad. And this is 2021. So with the graphic tools that are at your disposal nowadays, this just looks awful. Number 9, Dolly Parton, Bubbling Over. Yeah, not very good, in my opinion. I'm just going to move on. Not good at all. Oh, boy. Number 8, Three Dog Night, Hard Labor. I think the idea was that this was supposed to be funny. And this just looks ugly. Yeah, that's all. Number 7, Kanye West, The Life of Pablo. Boring. Boring. Number 6, Aretha Franklin, Hey Now Hey, The Other Side of the Sky. And, yeah. Why is the font down here backwards? This just, yeah. This looks more confusing than anything else. It certainly doesn't reflect what you're probably buying here. Number 5, Ted Nugent, Grenade of Love. I'm going to have to blur this out and not show it because of what it shows. But this is not the actual cover that was sold. This was the rejected cover. So Rolling Stone, there's no point in doing this. This was not the actual cover. We move on. Number 4, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Live It Up, 1990. Yeah, this is a terrible cover. This is just a bad cover. They should have known better than this. We're moving on. Number 3, Creed, Weathered, from 2001. It just looks visually unfinished. It doesn't. It looks like halfway done CGI. Number 2, Roger Daltrey, Ride a Rock Horse. It's just an image. It's fine. I'm not sure if portraying yourself as a centaur comes off as egotistical or not. It's not something I would do. As an image, it's fine. And then number 1, Limp Bizkit presents Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. Well, I'll tell you this much. This looks better than that CSN cover, which has hot dogs on it too. This looks better. Okay, whatever. I'm not sure why this is number 1. Out of these, I think there are worse ones than this one that should be at number 1 that look a lot uglier. Especially that Black Tarzan one. That one looks really bad. So finally, as to what Beatle album I would actually put in a list of the worst album covers of all time, that would have to be Magical Mystery Tour. I mean, look at it. The music is amazing, don't get me wrong. But this cover looks like a bad PBS Kids show. That's what it looks like. I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, huh? You know? But, I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? The music is so amazing. And over the decades, I've kind of just don't even notice how bad it looks. It's just all I can think about is how great the music is. Anyways, let me know what you think of that. And what'd you think of all these covers? What'd you think of these choices? Is there anything you'd add in? I thought this video was fun to make. I really had a good time. Hope you had a good time watching. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. A big shout out and thank you to my Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. If you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/TJR the original. If you can't, you can always leave a one-time super thanks for any video I post here. And if you can't do that, you can still help this channel a lot by just clicking like. Clicking like is free and it helps a lot. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.